Welcome to this Python tutorial, and today you'll learn how to code the ultimate Twitter bot. By the end of the video, you'll know how to create a bot that auto-replies to tags and comments, auto-retweets or likes any tweet, auto-replies to user DMs, or even auto-follows a user. Afterwards, I'll show you how to deploy the bot to an online virtual server so it'll run 24/7. Before we begin, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to keep me pushing content, and now let's create this bot. Okay, so first things first, you're going to need two Twitter accounts. The first account will be the bot that you see here, and the second account will be to test the functionality of the first account. So once you have two accounts created, we can go and get the developer Twitter API. So let's open up a new tab here and simply type in developer Twitter API. We will click on the link that says developer.twitter.com. Make sure you are signed into your bot account. Up in the top right, you can check, and we will hit apply. Hit apply for developer account. These are all the reasons you would need Twitter developer tools, and we will select making a bot. Now we can go ahead and fill out all this information. Make sure you have a phone number and email associated with the account. Then we will just simply select our country and we will type in the name of our bot account. So we'll just say Twitter bot. Hit next. Now here we just need to describe what we are going to do with the bot. So we can go ahead and just copy and paste this code I already have here. You can write whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Just say for educational reasons or whatever. And we can hit no here. And the features of our app we will need to describe. So let's go ahead and just copy and paste some more code in here. Or not code, sorry, text. And we will hit no right here and no right here. And we will hit next. Now this is a summary of our account. It looks good, so we will hit OK. And we will submit our application. Now you just need to confirm your email, and once your email has been confirmed, you will probably come to a page that looks just like this, applications under review. It shouldn't take long at all, sometimes it's instant. But once it's done, we're going to go up to this apps tab here. And once we get on this screen, we can go up to the top right and select create an app. We can start filling out this information. I'm just going to call my app name tutorial bot. For this description here, we can just go ahead and use the same one that we used in the previous prompt. And for the website URL, go to your bot profile URL, give that a copy, and paste it into here. Now we're going to need to copy and paste this description again because we will also use it right here. And once that is all good, we will hit create. And it looks like this app name's in use, so I'll just add a 33 right here. Okay, so now this is our new app, and the next thing that we're interested in is the keys and tokens. Now this is our API key and the API secret key. We're going to need these as well as the other two that are generated right here. This is our access token as well as access token secret. So these are very sensitive values here, and you're going to want to store them in a Word file or something like that. I'm going to regenerate mine after this video is complete. So we are concerned again with the API secret key, the API key, as well as these. Now we also want to check the permissions and make sure that we have read and write here. Next, we can go ahead and create the folder that all of our project files will be stored in. This will include our TweetPy files, and the TweetPy is the main library that's going to be used to build Twitter bots. So go ahead and open up File Explorer and go to the location that you want to create your app in. I'm going to create a new folder here, and I will call this tutorial bot 33. Now once this folder is created, we're all set to go. We can go ahead and exit this. Open up your favorite text editor. In my case, it is VS Code. It's a very nice text editor. I highly recommend it. You might be using Atom or something like that. That is absolutely fine. But what we need to do here is go to File and select Open Folder. And we're just going to open up the folder that we just created. Alright, so before we start coding, we are going to need to check the version of Python that we're running, as well as install TweetPy into the folder that we've created. So open up PowerShell or command prompt, and you're just going to navigate to the folder that we have just created. Once you're at the folder, you're going to go ahead and say pip install TweetPy. Now, I already have mine installed, but you should see a success message. If you don't, there's another command that you can run, which is pip3 install dash dash user tweepy. And that should work as well. Now, we also have to check the version of Python that we're running, so we can type python dash dash version, and we need a Python version above 3. So if you don't have 3, you can just quickly run over to Google Chrome and search for download Python 3. Click the first link, select download, and follow the prompts from there. It is very easy. So now back in VS Code, after we have our tweepy installed, we can go ahead and create a new file. And we will call this file bot.py. Alright, so let's import tweepy here, and we'll get started on creating our first program that's going to update our Twitter status. Once we have tweepy imported, let's go ahead and give that a run, and we'll see that we have no errors here, so that means we're all good to go. Let's head over now to the tweepy documentation, and this is just going to be over at docs.tweepy.org, and we are going to select OAuth 1A authentication. Here we are going to copy and paste some of this code to get our app working, and it will be this code right here. So we'll copy this and paste this back into VS Code. Now we need to assign these variables to our keys that we created in the developer Twitter API. So go ahead and copy and paste all 4 of your keys into VS Code here. I'm just going to erase these and make these into variables. Okay, so all I did here was essentially just create variables. Consumer key, this is our API key secret. This is our access token and our access token secret. And make sure those are all copy and pasted properly. And now let's start updating our status. We can go back to the documentation that we have here and simply copy this code here and paste it back into VS Code. Now I'll just change the message here. Twitter bot reporting in live, and when we run this code, it should update our status. It looks like I have a small error here. And again, basically what we're doing here is just using the Twitter authentication system to create this API object, and that's going to allow us to utilize all the functionalities we need, which is basically reading and writing data. And this update status method here is just one of many, and there's other ones like retweet, like, fetch data, and so on. So let's run this code and see if we get a tweet. And we see that we have no errors here, so that's really good. And let's go back over to our Twitter bot and see if this tweet was created. Twitter bot reporting in live, so it's working perfectly. Now, before we write some code that's going to allow us to auto-reply, auto-like, auto-retweet, etc., we need to tweet at our bot, maybe about 3 tweets, and we'll use the hashtag #ultimatebot. So let's go over, and in my Mozilla, I have my other Twitter, and let's make some tweets. Okay, so we've made our tweets, and now let's go and check this out here. In our tweets and replies, I have tweeted to the bot account 3 tweets, 2 of which are using the hashtag #ultimatebot. So this will be used for our testing. You can make the tweet whatever you like as long as we have the hashtag #ultimatebot. Now let's give the bot the ability to get all the mentions in the timeline, so we can then reply to them, retweet them, like them, or whatever. Back in our tweepy documentation, we are going to go to Twitter API wrapper right here, and we are going to search for the method mentions timeline. So this is going to be the method that we will use, api.mentions timeline, and we will go back here and we can write this following code. Okay, so this will return us all the mentions in our bot's timeline, which should be the 3 tweets that we just tweeted at our bot. So let's give this a run. Alright, so here we have the 3 tweets that we just tweeted. This is all the information that is contained in the tweets, and let's just take a quick look at these. So each tweet has a unique tweet ID, and we're going to be using this ID a lot to do a bunch of different things regarding tweets. We also have the text of the tweet right here. It's codebot this should do, and notice it's returning our tweets in reverse chronological order. So our most recent tweets are being output first. Now we also have other information regarding our hashtag right here. We can see the text of our hashtag, which is ultimate bots. Now there's a bunch of other information here, just information about the account that tweeted. You can see things like location, username, and many other things. Now let's just get all the information contained in the most recent tweet. So we know it's in reverse chronological order, so we'll just put tweets 0 and we'll run this. Now this is the most recent tweet. Here is again our ID, the text right here, and of course all the other information that we just saw. Now let's specifically get the text value of the tweet. All we need to do is type .text and we will run this. And down here we have the text of our tweet. Now we can write some logic that is going to get all the tweets IDs and their text, and then we're going to check if the tweets contain a particular hashtag or not. The way that I would go about doing this is simply write a for loop to cycle through all the tweets, and we're going to grab all the IDs and text. Here we're just cycling through the tweets that we got in our API mentions timeline, and for each tweet we are printing its ID as well as its text. Now we can run this app, and afterwards we'll figure out how to get tweets that contain a specific hashtag. Before we run, let's just get rid of this line right here. So these are all the tweets contained in the bot's timeline. Now these are previous tweets here. We don't need to be concerned with them. We're concerned with the last 3 tweets that we made right here. So we're getting the text as well as the ID of the tweet over here. The next thing that we need to do is add a filter to check if the tweet contains a particular hashtag or not. Specifically, we are going to look for hashtag ultimate bot. And how I would go about doing this is create an if statement, and the if statement will check if the hashtag is in tweet.text. But we also need to consider the case sensitivity, so let's put tweet.text in entirely lowercase. And the reason for that is because any version of the hashtag as far as uppercasing letters can be written, and we want to get all of them. Okay, so this is our if statement here, and all we're doing is if the hashtag ultimate bot is in our tweet, then we're going to print that tweet's ID as well as its text. Now, if we were to run this statement, it should return us just these 2 tweets here that contain ultimate bot. So let's try that out and give this a run. And we see that our 2 tweets are printed out perfectly. They both contain the hashtag ultimate bot, so that's really good. Now, the next thing we need to do is get the bot replying to tweets. So basically, let me actually Control Z this. We're going to keep this print statement in here for a second, and I'm just going to comment out this if statement. Alright, so I'm going to give this a run so I can explain this. Now, to get the bot to reply to tweets, basically the bot is going to be running on a virtual server, and it's going to be running again and again and again. Each time it's going to create a new array of tweets, because there will be new tweets the further that time goes on. So we need to separate the old tweets we've already seen and replied to from the new tweets. The problem is we need to somehow store the ID of the last tweet we've replied to, so next time the program runs, it'll stop replying once it sees the ID of the last tweet. So say we have a bunch of tweets here, the program runs, and it runs again, but we have 2 new tweets that contain the hashtag ultimate bot. So the bot is going to reply to everything containing ultimate bot, but we don't want it to reply to these 2 tweets here because we've already seen them. So the best way to do this is to create a text file, and we're going to store the ID of the last tweet that we replied to, which would be this one in this case. And we'll call this last scene.text, and we're going to need to read and write to the file. So let's create this. We will select new file, and we will call this last scene.text. So this is our new file, and now let's create some methods in bot.py that will allow us to read and write to this file. And above our for loop, we will write this code here. Okay, so here are our two methods, and this method is doing the reading, and this method is doing the writing. Now, inside of the read method, we are opening the file, and we are specifying R for read. Then we have our last seen ID, and we're reading the value that is inside the file and assigning it to last seen ID. Then we're closing the file and returning what the last seen ID is. Now, inside of our write method, we have the opening of the files when we're specifying W for write. Then we write the last seen ID of the tweet. Subsequent to that, we are closing the file and returning. Now underneath here, I put tweets and the API mentions timeline, and that's because we need to pass the ID of the last seen tweet into API mentions timeline. And what that will do is essentially only get the tweets after the ID that we passed in to API mentions timeline. So for example, if we were to put the ID of this tweet right here into our mentions timeline, then we would only be returning these two tweets. Likewise, if we were to put in the ID of this tweet here, we would only be returning this tweet right here. So I hope that makes sense, and we will also be using the extended modifier, which will allow us to get tweets of all character length, as well as tweets with links in them. So let's write that really quick. Okay, so it appears that we have forgot to put or specify our file name. So up here we can just write file name equals last seen.txt. Alright, so that looks good now. And we can go ahead and comment out this if statement or re-comment it in. And since we're using the extended mode, we need to specify tweet.fullText. So right here, we are just going to go like this. Full underscore text, and that will allow us to read the entirety of the tweets. And right here, we can also say full text dot lower. Now this is all good, but we do need to actually store the tweets in chronological order. As we know right now, they're in reverse chronological order, where the first tweet in tweets is the most recent. So we want that to be the last tweet. And all we need to do that is say reversed. Now, in order to check if this program's working, all we need to do is specify the ID of the first tweet that we sent. So if we specify the ID of this tweet right here, it's only going to return us this tweet right here because it knows we've already seen and replied to this. So to get the tweet ID, all you do is click on the tweet and it is right up here. So we'll copy this, go over to our last seen.txt and just paste it in there. Alright, so now if we run this and everything goes well, then we should only be seeing this tweet here. Okay, so we have a small error here, no attribute text, so that means that right here we didn't specify full text. And actually we can take what is inside of here and just paste it right here. And now we can get rid of this line and we will be all set to run this. Okay, so exactly as we thought, it returned our last tweet that contained ultimate bot, and it did not return the tweet that we specified as the last seen. So this is working perfectly. Okay, so let's start replying to all the new tweets. And luckily, this is very easy. If you remember, all we needed to do to send a tweet was call the update status method. And so we can do that again, but we're going to need to pass the tweet ID of the tweet we want to reply to, and we're going to need to put the username of the person in there as well. So underneath here, we will write the following code. Okay, so here we have created our new tweet, and we are concatenating the @ with the username in order to reply to them. We also have our reply right here, as well as attaching the tweet ID. Now, I also wrote a line to store the ID of the last seen tweet, so let's give this a run and see if it works. Now, we need to make sure that this tweet ID right here is inside of our our last seen.txt file, and that is because we don't want to get that tweet or any of the predecessors, which are these two tweets right here. So now if we create a tweet, then we should see upon running the program, we will retrieve this tweet right here, and then we will auto reply to it from the bot. So let's run this now. And we see that we've grabbed our tweet right here with the tweet ID of 0289. Does auto reply work? And now let's go and refresh the page and see if it worked. And it's working perfectly as we see here. And let's also check the last scene.txt 0289. All right, so we're also storing the last scene ID. Okay, so now the next thing that we can do is put this code here into a function that will allow us to reply every 15 seconds when the bot is running. So every 15 seconds, the reply function will be called. This code will run and we'll be replying that way. And we are also going to go up top and import time up here because we are going to use that to reply every 15 seconds. Now I'm also going to add in the code to auto like and auto retweet, so it should be that every 15 seconds we will be auto replying, retweeting, and liking any tweet that is tweeted at us with this hashtag. Okay, so now we have put, like I said, all the code into this function called reply, and then every 2 seconds we'll be calling the reply function. So I also added the create favorite and retweet function to our tweet. So let us get a tweet out and see if this works. I'm also going to change the reply here and I will say auto reply, like, and retweet work. Okay, so let's tweet now and see if this works. Alright, we've created our tweet, and now remember, this is the last tweet we've seen. The ID is stored in our file, so we should only be retrieving this tweet here. So let's run this. And we've got our new tweet. Is everything working good? So let us now exit this, and we'll go and refresh and see if it works. And we see that we have one retweet, one like, and we have our reply. So this means everything is working great on this end. And now let's give this another tweet just to be sure. All right, and we see that now that I've tweeted again, we have immediately got our retweet, like, and reply. So this is really good, and we are sure that every 2 seconds we will be updating. I'm going to change it to 15 seconds here just for more practical reasons. Okay, now that we've created our auto reply, like, and retweet functionality, I'm going to show you how to generate further engagement by doing what we just did to all the tweets that contain a specific hashtag, not just the ones that are tweeted at our bot. So if we go into the trending section here, like hashtag the bachelor, I will show you how to reply to any tweet that is like hashtag the bachelor, hashtag the hunt, any like trending tweet to generate more engagement. The first thing we need to do is create a file called searchbot.py, and we'll just go here and say add file, and we'll call this searchbot.py. Now a lot of the code is going to be the same, so we can just go ahead and copy and paste this. Now we can go ahead and get rid of all the code from file name on down, and in order to tweet at any of these trending hashtags, we need to go to our documentation and we're going to look for the cursor method. Now here we have ended up on our retweet, and also I really encourage you guys to just simply go through all the documentation. You can learn a bunch by just doing that. So like .retweet, we see retweet to tweet, .retweeters returns up to 100 user IDs. And so all these have nice descriptions, so you can basically do anything that you need. Like .friends returns a user's friends ordered in which they were added. And here we are looking for the cursor method, and now I believe it's going to be inside of cursor tutorials. And right here we see for status in tweepy.cursor. So we are going to use the tweepy.cursor functionality, and we are going to get all those tweets. So let's write a little bit of code right here. First, we are going to specify our hashtag as well as our number of tweets that we want to get. So let's say we will specify the hashtag the hunt. Okay, and we are going to get, out of these tweets, we are just going to get the first 10 here. So back in our code, we will write the following. Alright, so this is our new code, and here we are using the cursor method to get all of the hashtag items with the specified number of tweets. Inside of our search bot function, we are just cycling through all those tweets and retweeting all of them. And now we can also, remember, we can reply and like as well, but I'm just showing this for now. And we have inside of our try block, and then we have our exception. And down here, we are simply just calling our function. So let us now run this code. And it looks like we have retweeted, or we are slowly retweeting as the time goes on. So this should now just go and retweet our 10 functions here. So we can go over here and look at our code bot, and we will refresh this here. And it looks like I'm starting to retweet all those. So this way you can definitely generate engagement and get more followers by liking, retweeting, and replying to any hashtag that you would like. Now let us go and see that our bot can be deployed on a virtual server so this can stay running 24/7. Alright, so go ahead and open up Google Chrome, and we are just going to create a new tab and simply type in pythonanywhere.com. I'll leave a link down in the description of the video. Now, if you don't have an account, quickly just go through and create an account, and once you are signed in, we are going to make sure that we are on the dashboard. Here, we're just interested in our consoles and files. Now, we're going to create a new file here, and we're just going to follow this directory, home / whatever your username is here. And then it's just going to be bot.py, and so we can say create or just new file, and we can go ahead and copy and paste this code here from our bot.py. We'll go ahead, give that a copy, and just paste it into here. Now we can save that, and we'll go back now, and we are going to create our last scene.txt. So let's open another file and give the same directory. And then last_scene.txt. And then we can go ahead and copy and paste this code, which is simply just our last scene ID. And we can hit save. And now we'll go back. And for our consoles, we're going to have to get our TweetPy installation. So let's go to bash. So once we're at our terminal here, we can ls to make sure we're in the right directory, and we should see bot.py and last_scene.txt. Now that we're here, let's make sure that we are on Python 3. So we'll type Python 3 -- version, and we have Python 3.8, so that looks really good. Now the next thing to do is to install TweetPy. So let's type pip3 install -- user TweetPy. Now, if you tried to do this without the -- user, I don't think it will work. So we're going to go with -- user. And it looks like we already have it. So that's all good to go. Now let's just type python bot.py. Oops. Type that wrong. And now our program should be running. So let's go and actually tweet at our bot. Just to make sure it is working. And here we can see that it is working perfectly. We've got our 1 retweet, 1 like, and our auto reply. So that is how you can run the bot on a virtual server 24/7 and keep on automating any task that you would like. And further, you can just go on and check all the documentation with the Twitter API. You can just do a little research. I don't want to completely create the entire bot for you, so I'm going to leave the next steps up to you guys, which include, auto following or anything like that. So I will end the video here. Thank you guys very much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.